This video's got 50 million views. It's got too much hype in it. Frankly, I don't like hype. But here's part of the crap. Give me some real tools, not just hype.
What if they do and I can't handle it? These are not risk takers.
You spend so much time with other people. You spend so much time trying to get people to like you. You know other people more than you know yourself. You studied them. You know about them. You want to hang out like them. You want to be just like them. And you know what? You've invested so much time in them, you don't know who you are. I challenge you to spend time by yourself.
Now there is some truth. We need to know who we really are and what we really desire to do. But all this hype for money, all this pressure for money, a lot of times it's counterproductive. It doesn't have any real tools or support to help you. So let's stop. Now we're getting into some real meat. Consistency, not starting and stopping. Real consistency.
You got the Bentley on the wall, you got the gated community on the wall, you got the degree on the wall, but the problem is you keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping. And all I'm asking you to do for me is I'm asking for some consistency. All right, so I'm talking about the power of 21. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? I'm talking about doing something for 21 straight days. Now, it may not work. I remember when I first did this, the first thing I started, my boy Hollering Hill, he gave me a book called A Book of Proverbs, right? And he told me to read like a book of Proverbs a day for 21 days. Like, he's like, E, just start a habit. For real, we started with reading Proverbs, something real simple. But he said, E, if you can do something for 21 days, like you'll never have to think about it. I don't know if you caught what I told you this morning. I woke up at 3 o'clock this morning, 3 o'clock, burnt out, tired. Like, yo, E, I can't do it. I just, boom, went back to sleep. Boom, 3 minutes later, my body woke me up. What am I saying to you? I'm telling you consistency, habits. My body like, yo, E, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you think you're doing, but we don't do that. Sleep is for suckers. Get up. Listen to me, not my mind. My body kicked in and said, get up. We're talking about consistency. And so I read the book of Proverbs, 21 straight days, right? And I started doing other stuff. I said, we're going to exercise for 20.
It may take more than 21 days, but you need to look at consistent, effective habits that you can stick to and use. So I need to quit looking around, quit searching. I already know what I need to do. I need to get with a program I love and really use, and then help other people love and really use it also. That's it. I don't need any more programs. I don't need more books. I just need to do and use what I've got.
21 days. I just started trying to do stuff for 21 days to see if I can do it. And what I discovered is, for real, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, I did 14 days, then I started all over again. I said, this time I did 16 days, then I started all over again. And I did 18 days, then I started all over again. And I did 21. Some stuff I can do 21 straight days. Some stuff I got to start and stop and start and stop and start. But when you get to 21, there's power in consistency.
What do you see is some of the common habits of these successful people, outside of believing in the best in people like you talked about, not being as critical, being flexible mentally, whatever? What are some of the other habits?
I think that the most important attribute of a good leader is somebody who listens well. A good leader, knows what he thinks. So there's no point in, spouting what you think to your team. What you need to do is learn from your team, learn from your customers, listen.
Learn from your team, learn from your customers. Be a real partner in that. Got to work on it.
I'm a great believer in writing things down. So if I'm having a meeting and people are coming up with lots of ideas, if I don't write things down, I know I'm only going to remember, a couple of things the next day. And often, quite a lot of my meetings are, at the bar at 1 in the morning, and I know definitely I'm not going to remember the next day what my staff have told me. So again, write things down, and then the next day you can pull out your list and you can set about sorting things out. If I'm flying on a Virgin airline, I'll meet all the passengers, I'll listen to them, write things down. I'll meet the staff, listen to them, write things down. And sometimes it's tiny little things, but it's those tiny little things that make for an exceptional company over an average company. So, here in America, Virgin America, we started it a few years ago. I think the reason it consistently gets voted the best airline in the States is because, we listen and we get all those little details right. So that our customers are happy. And, if our customers are happy, your staff are happy, your staff smile. It's quite rare on airlines to have staff that smile, but they do smile because the customers are happy and everybody's happy.
Yeah. So listening is a key.
I should mention one thing about reading. It was at the library here at Columbia that I wish I spent probably more time than any other student. I lived there practically. But I pulled the book out there, happened to be Who's Who in America, and it told me something about my professor, Benjamin Graham, and then I looked up and I went to the library and I said, I want to learn more about this because I learned this over here. That changed my whole life. We own Geico now because of that librarian directing me to some other book and then following through on that. It's the chance. I read about 1/5 the pace that Bill does, but I still spend 5 or 6 hours a day reading. I mean, you can learn so much. I particularly love biography, just, to be able to live.
Focus your reading. You can read a lot of junk that's worthless, but if you read stuff that's really useful, personally wise or application wise, that's different. You can read romantic love novels and you can feel great about them and get excited about them, but can you apply anything in it? Maybe, maybe not. The application is more important than what you read. There's tons of crap out there that's not worth your time.
Live the lives of these people that have been so extraordinary, the lessons and the discouragements they face, just everything about it. So you can't get enough of reading.
I think my life would be very unbalanced by most people's definition, since I work quite a lot, I probably put in sort of somewhere between 80 and 100 hours a week of work, which is a lot, So, and then most of my remaining waking hours are spent with my kids. So that's my life. I would say it's relatively unbalanced. And then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week.
Gosh.
And then a lot of work. All those things improve the odds of success.
Okay.
I mean, if other people are putting in 40-hour work weeks and you're putting in 100-hour work weeks, then even if you're doing the same thing, you know that in 1 year you will achieve what they achieve. You will achieve in 4 months what it takes them a year to achieve.
I'm lucky to know a lot of famous people. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jack Welch, Larry Page, Mark Zuckerberg. I know all of them. I would like to share with you that those people, the difference between those people and other people, they are always optimistic for the future. They never complain. They always try to solve the problems of the others. And I think, where is the opportunity? The opportunity always lies in the place where people complain. Some people sit there complain, you think, if I can solve that complaint, that's the opportunity. That's what I...
Interesting. And there's a lot of opportunity out there. I think it's endless. I just thought about if I could get the right technology people together, conservative technology people together, and I could get something as effective as YouTube without cutting them out, that would be incredible. Right now, YouTube rules even with them cutting everything out, unfortunately. This is Korean here. He might be Korean, I don't know. Interesting. He says, don't complain, let the other people complain. I need to get out of that mindset.
People complain, those people who still. And Do not always say, well, I don't have. Think about how you can make things different. Use your own brain to think.
You tried to get into 3 colleges. Mm-hmm. Each time they rejected you.
No, I tried. There's an examination that young people, if you want to go university, you have to take the examinations. So I failed 3 times. But a lot of fail. I failed for funny things that I failed a key primary school test for 2 times. And I failed 3 times for the middle schools. And you will never believe in Hangzhou, my city, there's only 1 middle school that lasts only 1 year. It was changed from primary school to middle school because our graduates of our school, no middle school accept us because we were too bad. Yeah. They would become a middle school.
What effect did it have, though, being rejected?
Well, I think we have to get used to it. We're not that good. Even today, we still have a lot of people reject us. I think when I graduated from universities, and before I, for 3 years, I tried to fill in the universities. So I applied jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for a police. They said, no, you're not good. I went to even the KFC. When KFC came to China, come to my city, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one guy. And we went for police. 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that I received it. So to me, being turned down, rejected. Oh, by the way, I told you that I applied for Harvard for 10 times, rejected. I know I'll be rejected. I just don't want to say that.
Yeah, sorry now. 10 times you wrote them and said, I'd like to come to Harvard.
Yeah. And then I told myself, someday I should go teach there, baby.
Here's what I've created for my life, and anyone I know succeeded. I'm a 17-year-old kid from Azusa, California, with no real education other than self-education, with no background, with parents that did their best, all of them, with no money, but I did one thing. I loved people, and I had an enormous demand I made upon myself, and I sculpted my mind and my emotions to get me to do whatever it would take to achieve and to contribute.
Well, sculpted my mind and my emotions to do whatever it takes to achieve and move forward. Wow. Wow. I'm going to listen to that again.
Go teach there, baby.
Here's what I've created for my life, and anyone I know succeeded. I'm a 17-year-old kid from Azusa, California, with no real education other than self-education, with no background, with parents that did their best, all of them, with no money, but I did one thing. I loved people, and I had an enormous demand I made upon myself, and I sculpted my mind and my emotions to get me to do whatever it would take to achieve and to contribute. Wow. But to do that, I did it by using my body and changing my focus. I did it by putting myself in a peak physiology and using what I call incantations. Can you train yourself to believe something, yes or no? Absolutely. How many of you have ever made the fatal mistake of going to Disneyland or Disney World, and while you're there made the fatal mistake of going to a ride called It's a Small World After All? What happens for about a week after you're out of that damn place? You're still singing this thing in your head in 24 languages, right? Well, let me tell you something. How many of you have things when you want to go achieve them and this part of your voice goes, oh, it's not going to happen, or forget it? I'm going to go to a voice that sometimes interrupts that good pattern. Say I. And what you want to do is train a new one. So starting when I was 17, I started doing incantations, not affirmations. Affirmation, you go, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. What's the problem? You haven't changed your what? Your what? Physiology. If you don't change your physiology, you won't get anything. So an incantation is not only you speak it, but you embody what you're saying with all the intensity you can. And you do it with enough repetitions that it sticks in your head. Like It's a Small World, now the conversation in your head is always the same and it gives you what you want. So you use your body and your voice. So 17 years ago, I started doing things. I was working for Jim Rome, this speaker, and I was 17 years old. I had long hair, minestrone soup, acne on my face. And I was trying to call on Bear Stearns type of people and convince them why they should go to this man's seminar and be more successful. I was driving a 1968 Volkswagen that I had earned at $40 a week as a janitor. The only way I did it was park far from the building and then go in, and I love people and I believe, but I put myself in state, and I was able to influence people that were far more successful than I was at the time. I would do something that I still do backstage and have done for 23 years because I don't hope I'm going to be in a good state. I demand it. So I do an incantation using my whole body. I'd say, I now command my subconscious mind to direct me in helping as many people as possible alive today to better their lives by giving me the strength, the emotion, the persuasion, the humor, the brevity, whatever it takes to show these people and get these people to change their lives now. And I would do that literally driving in my Volkswagen to a meeting in LA on the freeway for 40 minutes. People are looking at me, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. They're going, I know he's a serial killer. I know he is. But by the time I entered that room, when two people meet, if there's rapport, the person who's most certain will always influence the other person. And I was totally certain, and they were trying to get revved up to certainty. Do you agree with this? Yes or no? I do another one.
Most certain. The person that is most certain will influence the other individual. Isn't that interesting? That's an interesting statement. How did I miss that before?
I was poor. I changed my mindset. I kept doing things, but I never got beyond it. I'd say God's wealth is circulating in my life. His wealth flows to me in avalanches of abundance. All my needs, desires, and goals are met instantaneously by infinite intelligence, for I'm one with God and God is everything. And I would imagine the abundance of my life, and I would feel so grateful. And a year later, I went from making $38,000 a year to making $1 million a year in 1 year.
I've started, and I'm still not great at this either. These are...
Wow. I gotta think about that some more. Wow, I gotta really rack my mind around it.
Always works in progress when it's not the thing that comes most natural to you. But I think what I've been doing well lately is I've been giving more honest, critical, direct to people's face feedback. I tend to be a little bit softer. I'm much more of a honey over vinegar guy. But between our former managing director Kelly and AJ, the very straight shooter operators, they've moved me along. I've definitely evolved in that category. I'm definitely better at it. I still want to deal with a ton of empathy and heart and soul, but shooting it straight is bringing more value to me, and it's just speeding up the process of victory. Can't have a CEO. I wouldn't say I'm very decisive, but boy, delivering bad news does not come natural to me, and I don't love it. And so building infrastructure around me and then doing it myself has been an important evolution that I've done much better at VaynerMedia than I've done at Wine Library. And what that's given me is the thing that a lot of you know that I value, which is speed. Those two.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I made this video because Imani Injar asked me to. If there's a top...
Wow, there are 7 things here to go back and look at. Wow. Wow. They're pretty powerful. As far as Martin from Billings, Montana, good day.